SFC Magic 95 assumes no responsibility for its content, and the Wade and Carter Show bears all responsibilities for their opinions and guests on their show.
You're done. You're done. Astros win again. Jobs are going away. Hillary and Barack whine. Lois Blackwell joins us. That and a whole lot more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show.
You been working out? You been lifting?
Carrying the show, that's all.
You only live during the show when you're carrying me?
Yep, that's all. That's the only.
I thought maybe you were moving ammonium nitrate around the 2-4 ranch.
That's the only workout I need.
You just keep that one shipment there.
I'm more out after 8 o'clock.
If something happened at the 2-4, do you think the government would very quickly just announce to all the major networks, a fireworks depot blew up in Victoria County?
Yep.
That's what it was. Fireworks, people. We'll never hear about that. You notice how you don't hear anything? Folks, you haven't heard anything about anybody that's still in the hospital in Beirut. You haven't heard anything about the homeless situation because square miles of Beirut, Lebanon blew up in that unfortunate fireworks fertilizer experiment. You haven't heard anything about that, have you? You know why? Because the government blew it up. People, wake up.
A government, I don't know which one.
At this point, are they really different? Is it not all intertwined?
Vote for Biden. It'll all be one.
It'll all
World
be
government.
one world government.
Let's do this.
The post-doom and gloom excerpt brought to you by Deerland Feed. For all you need, there's Deerland Feed. Get rid of bugs at your house. Get mange off your dog. Put a saddle on your horse. Get your goats to move with a cattle prod.
Put some grass in your cows.
They've got seeds, and they're not from China.
Not afraid to use them.
Right. Now, the weather's not an exact science, but 75 to 98.
All your fencing needs.
Oh, man, hog wire, everything. Panels, gates, they've got it all.
Treated, cedar posts, galvanized T-posts. Those are a must if you have ground that gets a little wet.
Fat kids, sissy kids, kids that climb on rocks.
No.
Tough kids. Even kids with chicken pox. I love Deerland Feed. Ash is going in for a prop. Oh, I thought you were getting a prop.
No.
Oh, you were
It's catching my attention.
You're removing the napkins?
Yeah.
Hand me those napkins, right?
Okay.
See if you can hand me those. Here you go.
I need one.
Give me this. All right. Now,
I'll just use my sleeve.
are you going to
my nose
leave
now.
But are you going to leave the Christmas basket accoutrement?
You can't disrespect Christmas.
We've got velvet apples and snow-covered pine cones back there.
We need a velvet Elvis. I have one.
Do you? You know, okay, because you and I are both huge Elvis fans. I mean, I've even given you Elvis
Bigger than that.
stuff. Yes, but let me tell you something. That's a real deal. There is a real resale market for the authentic Mexico painted velvet Elvis. And some of them are good. Some of them are kind of
it's got a slit in the throat. I got to get that fixed, but it's fixable.
okay.
A slit on the velvet canvas. I know.
Well, one thing is, there used to be one of he's in the full Vegas with the white collar and the angular nature of his face is kind of accented. It's almost Picasso-esque. Dude, it's awesome.
I mean, it's pre-Fat Elvis. He's
Right.
in a jumpsuit.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Folks, this is serious business. Do you, really? Get that to somebody that can
Lay
fix
on it.
that.
I know.
Yeah, it's live. Aloha from Hawaii. He wasn't Fat Elvis then. It's like 75 or maybe a little earlier.
He wasn't Fat Elvis till Kansas City.
By the way, the older I've gotten, he wasn't that fat. Dude just needed, Elvis was just ahead of his time. Now he would be on the keto diet. He'd be on with Ellen talking about, baby, I think I could fix you. I don't think there's a thing wrong with you that the king couldn't fix. You'd have Elvis on, and he'd be on the talk show circuit talking about how he lost 100 pounds, which he didn't need to lose, maybe 50 pounds. He would gone through drug rehab. Oh, man, I was taking uphill to get up and uphill to go to sleep. But now, me and Scylla, we've reconciled. I have a peanut butter and banana sandwich fried, of course. That's it.
Somehow we missed that on, what was it, Monday?
Yeah, was it his birthday?
No, anniversary of his death.
Yes.
Birthday's
1977, folks. 43 years ago. Still one of the top.
So he'd be what, 85 now? How old was he? Was that
Born
42,
in,
43?
He died at 42. Carry my ought.
So if it's 43 years later, he'd be 85.
Now he'd be singing, well, since my baby left me, I'm taking a blue pill. I'm handling all the chippies up on
Blueberry Hill.
Blueberry Hill.
I'm down at the end of Lonely Street at Twin Pines.
Right. Come see me at COVID place. Come on by.
Dave Garza first one in this morning.
Folks, we digress.
One day we'll give the first one in something, but not today.
And when we do, it'll just happen. The joy for you is just to be the first in. And then one day we're going to go, guess what? Like, for example, the day that we pick up the swag from Compadres Design, the way we're looking in the queue, maybe like 2023.
After the election.
Yeah, after the election. No, you may go first in, just got a T-shirt. That could happen.
Good.
Probably not. Good.
Karen Webb checking in. Bobby Leister, good morning. Jeremy Pena, Marvin Mickish, Lisa Poole.
How about first in just got a T-shirt? Send us $15 plus shipping and handling.
Our choice. We'll go to the bargain rack at Target.
Right. We send them one back that says things go better with Coke. Yeah. Yeah. You see, speaking of it,
Get you one on the bargain rack. At
good
Tractor
place
Supply.
for the bonus trivia. Good place for the bonus trivia. You know, a couple of years ago, Ash and I talked about the fact that it's Bezos, right? That's the head guy at Amazon.
Yeah.
We talked
Jeff
about it.
and the Washington Compost, as some refer to it.
He had started the Amazon company, and it took him 20 years, but only 20 years, from zero to passing Walmart in terms of sales volume. It's no small feat.
None.
Walmart at the time, largest retailer on the planet. After that, it took him a mere 3 years to double the size of Walmart. Now think about that. Think about that. Walmart was the biggest retailer on the planet. In 20 years, he gets to be as big as them. In 3 years later, he's twice as big as them. Kind of lets you know that whole technology, internet thing, it's working.
Yeah, it might be here to stay.
So how about this? Apple, 3 years ago, became the first company with a market cap of $1 trillion.
I mean, how long it take him to get there? 40 years?
Yesterday,
20
they
years?
went to $2 trillion. 3 years later, $1 trillion worth of growth. Your Apple stock, you know, the one your grandmother left you, hang on to that. Hang on to that.
My Apple stock that my grandma would have left me would have been jars of applesauce.
Lieutenant Dan bought us some stock in a fruit stand. We don't have to work no more. Good morning, caller. Who we got?
Good morning.
Hang on 1 second, boss. We're gonna. There you go. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
This is Brent Carter. Yes, sir.
Hey, Royce, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
You know,
Good,
Ash,
good. It's been a while.
It has. How's
You
the
know-
weather down there?
hot, man. It's 2-a-day weather, coach. You know,
Yeah, I know. It's time to be in the shade with some cold water or something.
something lemonade, something.
Where are you calling from this morning, Royce?
I'm in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not humid there. You're good.
Yeah, you're in
You're
cool.
good.
Okay.
Cool Houston.
Right.
You know, I wanted you to come in on a serious note, but we also have some interesting things to talk to you about that I think will make you smile as well. You know, we know that this past week, the region, you know, Victoria doesn't claim Cuero except when it comes to football. Yeah, we got some great football down there in Victoria, you know, Cuero. I told somebody once, they were talking about VISD building a new stadium and how it was going to cost a lot of money. And somebody said, yeah, but Cuero did it. And I said, yeah, but Cuero used state championship trophies to build that stadium. They built it with trophies. And
Right.
you had a big hand in that, and you and Coach Gilbert, big part of that. Take a minute. I put on the teaser.
Well, for those
the
that don't
show
know, Coach Gilbreth passed away earlier this week.
at 90. And a coaching legend, had 107 wins, 22 losses in Cuero, coached several places, and was Alois's coach. Were you there for all 44 of the straight wins?
No, I wasn't. I was in the eighth grade, finishing up my eighth grade year when Coach Gilbert was hired at the high school. So my freshman class was his first year in high school. So I met Coach Gilbert. He came down to the junior high and met with all the football players. And one of the things that impressed me about him that I always remembered was the fact that he asked us to give him a chance. And he said if we gave him a chance, that we could win some championships.
Isn't that something?
And I just remember that he was asking us, we were in the eighth grade, we were going to high school next year, and he's asking us to give him a chance. And he delivered on what he said he was going to do, because after we got to high school his first year, and in the second year, we did go to the state championship and play Brownswood, and we lost to Brownswood, but we did go to the state championship.
Wow.
How rare was that at that time for a high school coach to come in and talk to the junior high kids? It seems like there's a lot of that synergy and synchronicity now, but back then I don't recall a lot of stories of coaches going and talk to the next, the incoming kids.
I don't recall that being a part of that program either.
Alois, now.
Prior to that, Toro, they weren't very good at football. As a matter of fact, they hadn't really done any winning on a scale of championships or winning anything that I could remember.
As I watch now, though, you watch the Tom Hermans and people like that. You've got college coaches going into junior highs and talking to kids. It's like it's crazy.
It's gotten big, man.
I did put on our little teaser before the show that you would talk Buster Gilbert, the coach, and Coach Gilbert, the man. And I know that you guys obviously had as we get older, 45-year relationship. Tell me a little bit about just anything you would think that, people might not know this. Just share anything you would think of about Coach.
Well, Coach Gilbert was an honest person. He was the kind of person that he didn't do a lot of hollering and screaming. He would talk to you, ask you questions, ask you your input in things. And I'll never forget, my junior year is the year that I'm starting, and I'm going to do pretty much most of the playing. And I recall him asking me to come to his office, and so I went to his office and I met with him. And he asked me, he said, Arthur Whittington, who was an excellent running back, he was a year behind me. Went on to SMU, played for the Raiders, and went to the Super Bowl there. He asked me, he said, would it be okay with me if he alternated us in regards to playing in games? And I told him I didn't have a problem with it, but I just thought that was so great that he would ask me, here it is, I'm in high school, ask me where he's the coach, he could make that decision on his own. Ask me if it would be okay with me for him to do that. And I always had just such a high respect for him doing that. And then the other thing is that I remember my sophomore year when they put me up on the varsity year, we went to the state. I remember I got hurt in this game, and so I was hurt on the sideline and in some pain. And I remember him coming over to me and asking me, "Could I go back in the game?" And I told him, "No, I couldn't go back in the game." And so I go home and it took me like about an hour to get in bed. My sisters in had to help me. And so I go back up to the school, and he is the first person that meets me coming in the door. He looks at me. He looks at me and he says, "Hey, take him to the hospital right now." And so they took me to the doctor, and I got fixed up and everything. But he was just that kind of person. He was very sensitive to people, but yet still he could coach, and he always got really good coaches. And then the other thing that leads me from that standpoint, so I knew him as a person that was a stranger. Then I knew him as a person that was a fantastic coach, had great people skills, and then after that, after his coaching, and he settled down and retired there in San Antonio. I used to drive up to San Antonio, and then when they moved him to Austin to assisted living, I would go and visit him there. And so we ended up just having we went from a stranger to a coach to just having those coaching type moments to just being friends where we sit up, talk about personal issues, and he talked to me, and we sit up and laugh and joke about certain things that happened over the years, and he'd tell me some background on things that took place. And we just ended up having a great relationship. So he was just really a great person. I mean, he was very positive all the time. Just, and like I said, he'll be missed by many people.
Well, I knew you had that relationship with him, and I know our listeners as well. You can just hear the respect in your voice, and
the love for the man.
Absolutely. And I'm interested. What I'm hearing you describe is an authoritarian figure, though, who wanted buy-in. Give me a chance. Is it okay with you? Because once you say, well, sure, coach, I'm a team player. If you want Arthur to have some carries, that's okay. Then you're accountable for that. You're accountable for the result. You don't get to pout on the sideline because somebody else scored the touchdown. By the way, that year, your junior year and Arthur's sophomore, and then again his seniors and juniors, just give our listeners an idea of what happened during that period of time. How many yards you had that year that you shared carries? Más o menos.
I don't really remember how many yards, but let me just say
the great ones don't, Coach.
It was enough. It was enough for me to get a full scholarship to the University of Houston, and it was enough for him to go on to get a full scholarship to SMU, and it was enough for both of us to go to. I went to the Cowboys. He went to the Raiders.
How about that?
Went to the Super Bowl. So, it was enough for all those things.
I'm opportunistic. I'm going to think I could probably coach that team too. Now, if I'm playing 3A football and I got 2 NFL running backs, I'm going to find a way to run the spread option somehow. I'm just going to turn around and pick one.
But prior to that, they hadn't had anybody to. I think the first guy that went to a 4-year school was Henry Shepard, and outside of that, it's from football, so I don't remember anyone going to a major division school playing football, and then it was myself, and then after that, then it was like Arthur, Gary Pickens, Calvin Blackwell, Marion Harper, David Hill, and all those guys. The floodgates just open up, and you can see what's happening now in regards to Jordan Whittington going to Texas.
Well, he's a stud too, Coach.
Like that.
Let me tell you.
I went to see him at the state track meet. At the state championship, man. And I'll tell you, that was a performance that was just unbelievable. I've never seen the person give MVP both defensively and offensively.
You were so much older than me that I always looked up to you, kind of as a hero figure. And but I will but I will say this.
Yeah, but 2 years is an eternity in high school.
You never let me down, though. You've always been you've always been a gentleman. You've always been a role model. You've always cared about kids. I know, and I'm not for me to gloss over it, you go to U of H, you play for Coach Yeoman, you're the MVP of the Cotton Bowl against Maryland, which on a team that included Randy White, who I'm pretty sure you ran away from, not over. Am I right, or did you hit him head on? Come on, Coach.
No, I never did.
You were smart, right? He had like snot hanging off of his face mask and stuff, but you guys, you went on and
They were teammates.
Yeah, you were teammates. So you've got a ring against Denver. You've got a championship ring.
No, I played in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right.
We played Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Oh, in '77 okay.
Do you remember? I can't forget, but do you remember the night that you forced me to meet Jerry Jones?
I know.
So you took me to the old Texas Stadium, and we went up. And remember, they put your name on the jumbotron at the time at the other end of the stadium, and you said that guy over there, that's the new owner of the Dallas Cowboys. And I said, really? And you said, yeah, just go over there. He goes, you knew that I would talk to anybody. And you said, just go over there. I just want you to walk up and go, hi, I'm Brent Carter. And he goes, just don't say anything else for 10 seconds and just look at him. So I did. And honest to goodness, folks, 8 minutes later, I came back to a Lewis and my eyes were just like wide open because I said, Mr. Jones, I'm Brent Carter. Brent Carter, look at the Dallas Cowboys. Let me tell you, we got Troy Aikman. And I'll never forget, he said, we got the Michael Irvins. We got the Michael Irvins. What is that?
There's more than one?
Does it mean that we have more than one number 88? Is that like a type of player? We got the Michael Irvins. We got the Emmitt Smiths coming in. The Dallas Cowboys. Man, and you're a quiet guy. I mean, that's why I appreciate you so much coming on the air with us. But it was just craziness. You said you were just laughing over there. I said, that ain't right. He sent me over here to a mousetrap. How's your family? How's everybody? Have y'all made it through this COVID thing okay?
Well, we're doing better. I mean, I was in Cuero, not this past Saturday, but Saturday before last, my sister passed.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Sorry to hear that. It was.
We're rebounding from that and doing pretty good. I'll be down in Cuero tomorrow
For the service.
Coach Gilbert Memorial. Yeah.
Now hearing of your sister, you've had a lot of loss in your life in the last 10 days or so, 2 weeks. Bill Yeoman passed a week or so ago.
Coach Yeoman passed like 4 days prior to Coach Gilbert, and prior to that, 2 weeks past that, my sister passed, and then one of my best friends that plays in the university, Earl Thomas, he passed 2 weeks prior to that. So probably in this last 30 days, I've had some people very close to me that have passed. But
how do you stay strong? How do you stay strong through that?
Pardon me?
How do you stay strong through this type, through that loss and through this suffering at this point?
Well, it's the same thing that brought me through football and all of my life. It's God. I mean, I put God first in my life, and I just believe in God. I believe in His Word, and that's how I get up every day, and that's how I operate. And I just believe that He doesn't make mistakes, and that He's not going to put anything on me that I can't handle through Him.
Amen. Well, I'm not at all surprised at that answer. You and I have had that conversation many times. And like I said, you're a tremendous role model and you're an even better friend. And I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're going through a rough time, but you're a champion. You always have been to me. And we just appreciate you reaching out. If you come through Victoria, I mean, there's no, I know you could go to probably any way you want, but you can cut off there at Edna or whatever. But if you come through Victoria, give me a call while you're in town.
I will do that, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you inviting me on.
Well, we love you.
Much success in the future.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks, Louis. Appreciate
We'll talk to you soon, okay, bro?
All right.
Be well.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He's the most humble guy, but that's straight up Cuero royalty.
Yeah, Lois
That
Blackwell.
is
I mean,
legendary football player.
and we didn't even get into
No, and he didn't want to talk about his deal.
no,
He-
but I'll give you a little bit of
Sure.
his bio. I mean, here's a guy that rushed for 900 and some odd yards. I think his coming out season at UH ends up being the Cotton Bowl MVP. Helps UH get a number 4 ranking. The next year, he's just second in the SWC, the old Southwestern Conference, in rushing behind little known guy named Earl Campbell.
That's it. Second in the league in rushing, 1,200 yards as a junior in college.
So pretty impressive
Just
resume on his own.
a hoss. And then when you realize, and he'd be the first one to tell you, he goes to the NFL, arguably the best football player I've ever seen. And neither he nor Whittington just completely lit up the NFL. And you look at it and you go, those guys are so good. The reason he wasn't the big hoss in Dallas, didn't get all the carries, you were transitioning from Robert Newhouse into a little-known Hall of Famer named Tony Dorsett, who came in also in 77.
But Lowe's got a pretty good reputation as a special teamer and a guy that would just absolutely decleat you on special teams.
Football player. And that's another thing he would teach you. If you're a football player, they'll find a place for you on the field. Super guy, great friend, and thank you folks for indulging us on that. I thought he was very forthright with everything about what's been going on with his family and his family extended, Yeoman and Gilbert. Great stuff. And I knew that he had kept up with Coach. I knew that he went and visited Coach regularly. They were close.
Yeah, I know. I've got a few friends in the Cuero area. That community is feeling the loss of Coach Gilbreth.
Absolutely. No, it's the death of a legend. And it brings back the mortality to these players that, hey, I played for him. For many of those young men in Cuero, he was a father figure as well. And, it gives you a sense of your mortality. So
let's see who else in before we run to break. David
I saw
Glass,
Judge Posey. Good morning, Judge.
Chris Conrad, Greg Garcia, BJ Nelson, Scott Tomko's listening in while he smokes a brisket.
Nice.
Maybe a couple benders. Maybe he needs to drop a couple benders off in the morning. Scott's
got you could bring some leftover brisket by. Scott's got a beautiful back patio area that he covered, and it's like his outdoor brisket mecca. It's awesome. There's Matt Boucher.
Christina Wise, Joe Mitchell says, how about that DNC show last night? We might get into that.
We're going to get into that in a minute.
Yeah, Don Nicole, Lisa Poole.
Hello, T.
Beautiful wife Cheryl's checking in. Rob Moore Knipling.
My amazing, super beautiful wife Dawn checks in.
Carla Bennett, good morning. Torrin Bales says he can't watch it. Makes blood pressure go up.
TB, wait until I give you my thoughts on what I heard from last night. Those
morning, Didi Geigo, Chris Jansen checking in.
Didi Geigo, Astros win 7th in a row. Astros win 7 in a row. That's amazing. The Springer Dinger's back in town.
Yeah, he gets back in, hits a home run. Bill Wendland says we got him laughing early. We appreciate the you're one of the few, Bill.
Yeah, Bill, thanks for getting it. We're hilarious every morning. Just most mornings people don't get it. I'll tell you who does get it. Allen's Regular Service, 578-6300.
They'll come and get it.
Allen appreciating the abbreviated break due to the great interview with Lois Blackwell. 578-6300, that's Allen's Regular Service. That interview brought to you by our banner sponsor, the VCS Companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer right there on Kerr Boulevard, just inside the loop off Main. If you need fire suppression, fire detection, Video Doorbell Pro, command control 4 big, it's a remote control, people. If you need audio, video, rocks that work as subwoofers by your pool, TVs that are designed to be outside, all of it. If it's electronic, call the VCS Companies.
Here's just to give you something, because I saw a post on social media yesterday, somebody looking for help to solve somebody who dumped a dog in their yard, right? And they've got a lesser known product than the Video Doorbell Pro. But you can make out the model of the truck. You can make out the color of the truck. That's it.
Oh, with the Video Doorbell Pro, you can see the license plate
exactly,
and zoom in on it.
You want to find out who's actually doing things. You can't go with a cut rate, $100, open the box, stick it on job. You got to have something that's actually going to help you solve a crime against your property. And SCT, or I should say VCS can help you do that with Video Doorbell Pro
Go,
or a number of other video surveillance products.
read the BJ Nelson marketing promo of the day. What is she saying there? Go back up to there.
You can have first day listener koozies. Then when
Right.
Brent throws the big party, you get in free with your
But
koozie.
guess what? You're probably getting in free anyway.
That's right.
I don't know.
But that's
But I like
good.
what you're thinking. Now we can charge for the party.
First
Everybody's
in
going to thank
koozies.
BJ. Okay, now what did Clayton help? Because Clayton Help's down there. I'm getting one no
Go
down
the other way? Okay.
right there,
Good morning.
boys.
That's nice.
Good morning, Clayton. Reminds us that 564-8864, that's the magic number. If you need to have a carport, shed, she shed,
Patio cover.
barn dominium, you want the shell built, you call Clayton. SCT Building Systems. They'll come out, they're pouring concrete, they're putting up the plates, they're putting up the red iron, they're doing the whole deal. They'll get you all
They're going to
dried
finish it
in,
up for you too.
and then they'll help you get it finished out. Reach out to SCT Building Systems. When you're done with that,
Zach Mueller, check it in.
Coastal Landscape Design, bam, puts the plants around it, the lighting, dresses it up.
I like that uplighting on the outside.
Then you can go to Chesnick Furniture, celebrating 100 years in Victoria, 116 West Wanland, corner of Wanland and Bridge. Bobby Leon and his family, 100 years, 50% off celebration going on right now. We haven't been told to stop it. Recliners, bedding, Tempur-Pedic bedding, all the furniture is on deep, deep discount.
And the accoutrement.
Oh, accoutrement.
50% off.
Reach out to them. Today's also a great day. Post-Caldo, Veracruz.
I got my caldo yesterday.
Did you? How was it? Be honest.
Phenomenal.
It is good, right?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know how to describe it other than comfort food.
Caldo de res. It's got beef in it. It's beautiful.
Lots, they don't skimp you on the beef
No.
either. And
No,
chunks of corn on the cob, cabbage, there's potatoes in there.
you didn't have any gas after that, did
No.
you? Oh, it's gas free.
Yeah.
Liar.
And,
Razor
and,
IT.
if you throw the little bit of salsa, if they throw the salsa in there, they give you, it kicks it up a notch or two.
Now, see what
Spicy.
I do is I always get diced fresh jalapeno and put in there, and it really, because the hot broth really kicks that jalapeno.
Well, with
up.
that and the pico that threw in there, I had the nose sweats going.
Yeah, because nothing says a great meal like when your lips burn for 4 hours after you eat.
Exactly.
Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull and his team will study all your analytics. They'll tell you, I guarantee you, no matter how savvy you think you are at handling your QuickBooks or your Collect Online or
Or your quid pro quo.
your if you're Joe Biden, he can help you with your data encryption. He can help you understand who's trying to attack your web page. He can show you stuff he's got a huge screen in his office, and he'll bring your website up and start digging around in there. And the next thing you know, you'll be like, I did not know that. And I didn't know that this would so
You
easily.
really get to see how embarrassing your website is when you're
Right.
sitting there on that big screen.
That's a true story. You want to see how embarrassing your old car is? Drive by the Atzenhofer dealership. You'll go, wow, look at the new Chevys, Cadillacs, Mazdas, Mitsubishis. Or look at the extremely late model and lightly used pre-owned vehicles that are on the lot. You need paint and body work done on old Bessie. We ought to get
1926 service oil change special.
Atzenhofer to do a daddy makeover on Ben Zeller's truck. They could do it. Got the paint and body shop. They service all makes and models.
Yeah, I think you'd have to pay for it though, because one of those elected official.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, I forgot about that. We can't give him anything.
No.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben. Reach out to Atzenhofer today, and you'll be glad you did. They're right there on the Navarro Motor Mile, just down the street from
Higher
Higher Price.
prices. Yep.
That's right. White Trash Services, BJ Nelson, Scott Nelson. BJ wants us to remind you, September the 10th,
Is our voter registration event.
7 to 11,
7 to 9?
7 to 9, 7 to 11. If there's a line, she ain't going to cut you
No.
off. Come on by. There'll be Brother Gary out there waving. Hey, how are you? Hey. He'll do the whole quinceañera deal. And then you'll have the opportunity to register to vote. Somebody will probably give you some food. Be an easy up.
You don't even have to leave your car.
No. That's the whole thing and this is just BJ Nelson being selfless, saying, hey,
Uh-huh.
I'll become a voter registrar and I'll help people get out the vote. Fantastic.
HR Mallory, Larry Lay, Jeff Fonseca says Jordan at the state championship was like a cheat code on Madden football.
Yeah, no, he was so phenomenal. He's been hurt. He had a groin injury at Texas, and he's done something else at Texas that he's just so electric.
Groin
in
injury for the
space.
Canadians in the audience. That's a groin injury.
Groin, man, my groin hurts, Corch. You let him get out there. You let him get out in space, and Jordan Whittington is something to see.
Catherine Adams, good morning. The Iceman is in. Andrew Dry Koenig,
Hey,
Jimmy
Jimmy Driscoll.
Klemacek, Jimmy Driscoll, Joey Falcone,
Sheriff Louderback is back.
Jennifer Caslow, Diane Tippett, Bob Watley, Joe Gomez.
Bob Watley pointed out that Jordan Alvarez, Jordan, is done. Got a slight tear of his patellar tendon, so that's the little tendon that keeps your kneecap on the front of your knee.
Yeah.
If it tears all the way through, you look down and like there's a lump in your shin, and you're like, "What happened there?" And that's your kneecap. So your kneecap is, you think of it as being like a little cut, but it's more like a little rock, and it fits right in there. It's kind of ugly, and it can be very, very painful if it's not exactly where it needs to be. So they're going to go in, they'll make a slight incision, they'll stitch that up, and he'll be done for this season, and that's okay.
But he'll be ready to go for spring training.
Absolutely. This will also take the work off of his ribs and back. I don't know if he was dating Carlos Correa's wife. I don't know what happened to his ribs. Maybe it was a massage gone awry. But along the way, without Justin Verlander, without Jordan Alvarez, Astros win.
Without George Springer, because he'd been out, but he was back yesterday.
He
Hit a
comes
Springer
back
dinger.
and hits a Springer dinger.
Yeah, 13-6, I think was the final.
Yeah, 13. Beat him by a touchdown. Good job. Couple of things we talked about, Ash and I, on the way in.
Let me give you the NHL
Okay, you go.
update just
Yeah.
from yesterday, because
I'll talk about something
I
else.
know Jimmy Simpson's in.
Hi, Jim.
Columbus loses to the Lightning in overtime, so Tampa Bay wins that series 4-1. Bruins also 4-1 winners over the Hurricanes. They win 2-1. That was a pretty good game, actually. Avalanche destroyed the Coyotes for the second straight game, 7-1. They win that one, 4-1. Montreal trying to claw back the Canadiens. Now 3-2 down to the Flyers in that series, but they win an exciting 5-3 game last night. And the Canucks up 3-2 over the St. Louis Blues with a 4-3 win over St. Louis yesterday. So there you go.
There you have it. That's your hockey
My
moment.
Flames play late tonight.
Yep, last game of the year
Yep,
for them.
and probably will be. Lose to Dallas.
Last game for the Flame. Hope
You know,
not.
normally that would be a shirt over your head moment
Right,
and feed you lunch,
but
but
you're like, yeah,
I'm
he's
kind of right
right.
there with you.
No, deep in your heart, you're like kind of flattered that I know enough hockey
Yes,
now to know it's
I kinda
over
am.
for the Flames.
I mean, I'm hopeful. I haven't lost all hope, but the realist in me goes and I knew it when Dallas tied it up in Game 4 with 11 seconds left. I told my brother we're going to lose in overtime, and we did.
Sure.
And instead of being up 3-1 with 11 seconds to go, or we're tied at 2, and then Dallas comes and outplays us again.
What are the odds that you can be such a great prognosticator and such an epic procrastinator at the same time? Steve Kidder says, I'm already registered to vote. I'm just going to go by for the